I don't have ambitions to be a great musician or something. I'm a painter. That's what I studied, but I always done music since I'm 18. I'm 25, almost 6 now. So uh, I'm not settled yet, but yeah, it's more like cultural interest, I think, than like wanting to be a virtuoso or something. That's the aim. I started with skipping school a lot. This taught me a lot about life because obviously my mother was not okay with it, and I think she didn't know. I mean, she knew maybe 10% of what I was doing. But yeah, just when I was 16, 17, I just skipped half of my time and I just spent it at the bar that was just in front of the high school, and we just ended up to play music until 5 in the morning. Sometimes the next day I would go to classes with her. And so it just taught me to be responsible. I think it's very important also to have these secrets and not to tell your parents. And after a while, just like my parents trusted me, and I don't know, I never did something else. The positive side of this is to ask you as often as possible, like if you are happy in the situation that you are in. And I mean, you can also busk in the street every day and be unhappy. It's not this thing that will make you free. You don't have to be a hippie or some kind of thing to be free or happy. But I just know there are certain situations that make me happy, and I like to meet people and to travel. And maybe just I found some answers, but not everything yet. How to mix travel and music and painting with all this. But it's just, I don't know, this feeling of connection is important. Like that you are not random and that you can make people happy that you cross. It sounds very naive, but it makes you feel so. I mean, at some point you cannot go without it.
So my parents were what most people would call hippies, but they were a very special kind of hippie. They made flutes and traveled around to craft shows and stuff. So and they moved from New England, where they grew up, to Virginia, and had me in a cabin without electricity or running water, where we lived for the first 9 years of my life. So we'd be there for most of the year, and then we'd travel for 2-3 months out of it. And they got into Irish music, and so I grew up around a lot of that, and then started playing that when I was 12, 13. My mom brought me to Ireland my first time for 3 months, and started playing every night of the week while I was there. And I got home and took up the fiddle, and so Irish music got me into American old-time music. It's similar in a lot of ways. There's some shared roots and stuff.
You asked Aaron before, what does this city have that other don't? And it's just, I've never been to such a beautiful city. That's, I think, the first point I would say. And it's a big city, like it's very large. Maybe it's because everybody has houses and doesn't live in big buildings, so it gets very like extended. But so you are basically in the center, but it feels like backyard chilling. I don't know.
It's hard to say. I guess there's a very long tradition of mixing of different cultures here. More so, a lot of cities have that, but it seems like New Orleans has that more than some, and you see it in the architecture, which is, reflected from, 3-4 different eras of colonialization. And I think also because it's also seems like it's been a pretty poor city for a long time, that facilitates musicians traveling to it and living more easily. That it's certainly the case now, and
like source of joy, but it's like I know also that sometimes it fears me a lot. And now it's not my anecdote; it's from a friend that I took by a loving force to France on a trip in an artist's residence. And she's more like, she has very strong habits and she has to plan her day. Like every morning she would say, so what you're going to do today? And I'm like, I don't know. And I took her on this long trip. Like we spent 20 hours in the car, and then we had just arrived at this place. It's in the nature, and everybody was I don't know, drinking and speaking loud in French. It's not her native language. She speaks it, but it's okay. And after an hour, I just went to her. She was a little bit isolated or not talking too much, and I asked her, so is it okay? Do you think you like it? And she was, okay, I'm fucking afraid. I'm not at ease, but I will do my best because this place is so cool.
Well, I think I always fall back on humor because that seems like
Yeah,
one of the most universal things. I'm a big fan of jokes. If people are telling jokes, that's the jam. I'm always listening to hear new ones, and especially when you're in situations where there are language barriers, and so much of humor tends to be language-based. I'm always looking for jokes that there's a conceptual thing that you could translate into any language and it would still be funny. So those are sort of the higher level of joke for me. So that's something I use as a social medium for meeting new people and
That's a great advice. I love it.
humor is really good.
yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, when I